Hey guys, good morning. Coach Jen T here. So I just want to talk really quickly about goals because setting goals and reaching them obviously is very important to most of us. If you're in this group, then you obviously want to be the best version of yourself and you're working on it every day, whether or not you're being perfect about it. So when we talk about setting goals, whether it's a fitness goal or a nutrition goal, you want to make sure that it's not so easy that it doesn't feel challenging enough to stick to it, but you also want to make sure that it's so far out of your reach that it's hard to accomplish, because then that kind of helps you set up for failure, making you feel bad about not being able to achieve your goal. So what you want to do is find a middle of the road kind of goal that, is uncomfortable, right? Because change is uncomfortable. It's not easy, and if it were, then we would all do it, right? So finding that middle ground of something that's sort of hard and you're not quite sure if you can achieve it, but you're like 80% sure, and that it pushes you past your comfort zone, and then just having it not be like super easy where you're like, oh, this is silly, why am I even doing this? Or just so hard that you can't accomplish it. So a great way to measure that is to literally make a little tracker for yourself for 10 days. So make little check boxes on graph paper or take your iPhone notes or Google Keep or something like that and just make a tracker for 10 days with a check mark, where you would either put a check mark if you accomplished this goal or this habit that you're working on, or you leave it unchecked if you didn't finish it. Simple yes or no, X or circle, whatever you want to do, keeping track of that for 10 days. 10 days, right? So once you have your 10-day tracker, find your goal and make sure again that it's middle of the road comfort level. And then you want to track that goal for 10 days without judgment of yourself, without feeling guilty if you fail. Keep that tracker for 10 days. And if you can't do at least 8 of the 10 days, then that is a sure sign that you need to dial your habit that you're working on down. So the goal when you're tracking for 10 days is to make sure that you can do that habit you're working on at least 8 out of 10 days. So once you get to the end of the 10 days, look at your habit that you're working on and you will either dial it back or dial it up depending on what you're working on. So if you go 10 days and you check every day for 10 days, amazing. Time to dial that up to something else a little tiny bit more challenging. And if you don't get the 10 days, if you get 7 days or you get 6 days, then you want to dial that habit down a little bit. And then if you miss 2 days, great, stick with that habit for another 10 days and keep working on it until you can get 9 or 10 out of the 10 days that you're working on. That just kind of helps give you a gauge on how things are working for you. And if they are indeed achievable, they're pushing you past your comfort zone, and then you can go from there and it will help you really navigate what you're working on. I'm just going to give you 2 quick examples. So let's say you really want to cut back on the muffin that you're having every morning for breakfast, right? So let's say you have a muffin, and you want to cut out muffins. You can go ahead, write cut out muffins. If it's just past your comfort zone, fine. Write cut out muffins, don't have muffins, whatever. If you can't do that 10 days, but you can do it 8 days, great. Stick with it, keep going if you can do 8 days. And then if you can't do it and you can only do 7 days without the muffin, then at the end of 10 days, it's no problem, no judgment. It's just time to dial that habit back a little bit. Either find something to replace it, which instead of cutting something out, it might be adding something in. So what might be a healthy option for you for breakfast, and how certain are you, regardless of a whole muffin, can you add in some extra protein into your morning as a part of your routine? Or if you're willing to not cut out muffins, but cut back on muffins, let's say you try to have half a muffin for 10 days and see how that works for you. So a 200-calorie muffin that you would have every day that you're trying to reduce, if you have half of that, you're reducing your calories every day by 100. If you take that 10 days, that's 1,000 calories out of your 10-day process there. So you can go up or down with your habit. Again, another example is if you are telling yourself you're going to work out for 30 minutes every day, whether it's going for a walk and getting outside or hitting the gym or doing some kind of interval training. See if you can do it for at least 8 out of 10 days, right? Keep that track list. If you can't do the 30 minutes, what would be better? Doing nothing or just simply cutting back your efforts to maybe telling yourself you're going to do 15 or 20 minutes a day, and see if you can do that. And just keep dialing up and down your own personal habits, keep yourself accountable, and that will really help you stay on track. And if you really need help with accountability, of course, you can reach out to find a coach that works for you to help keep you accountable to reach your goals. And over time, those little tiny decisions that you make, such as half a muffin or throwing that 10 minutes of exercise in, are really going to add up over the course of the year. So just stick with it. Keep dialing up and down your efforts until you can find the happy balance for yourself. I hope you guys have a good day.